This is 012 Boku and
the great alchemist of jackassery, Mr. Jherick.
And yeah, we're coming at you with the next, as every DVD falls out of there, basically just with the cover, the next episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Season 1. And you guys know my thoughts from what I put up last week, so, take it away, Jherick, on the episode, I think it was, that's 24. There we go, Truth Behind Truths, episode 19.
Oh, I love this one. I mean, we start off really strong with Edward, lamenting that he's going to have to, now knowing exactly what he's going to have to do to get the Philosopher's Stone he needs, and actually having his moment where he decides he's kind of wants to give up because he doesn't want to make that mistake again, even if it is to fix the first mistake he made. Which, honestly, kind of understandable, but, I mean, this is honestly one of my favorite, what's her name again? Maria
Ross.
Maria Ross, maybe even one of my favorite Maria Ross moments of all time, because we really get to see the mother she wants to be in this episode, the way she knows exactly how to psychologically poke him in order to get him to move forward. Reminding him it's like, everybody here in the military is going through the same thing, but it's even more important for you and your brother, isn't it? And she even details how she was listening in and how she knows the recipe. She knows what they have to do, which, might cause problems down the road, considering somebody is searching for people who are looking for this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Who we're going to see later on this episode, by the way, in one of his more interesting moments in this series. And it's actually kind of neat because we see him and Alphonse actually have a pretty kind of sad argument where he gets angry and he tosses a teacup that scratches against his brother's face.
Which, again, I don't think he meant to do, but he just brushes his hand off the table with regard and just like whack.
And I mean, it's a great scene because you can see the horror in his face realizing I just disregarded my brother's emotions on this, and he's got more to lose in this than even I do. And it's one of those great scenes because, again, Edward has a tendency, like his dad, to get lost in his own thoughts and ambitions.
Yeah.
That's why it's so crucial that this is a tale of two brothers journeying together. Alphonse is really the spiritual anchor that keeps him tied to what he needs to do.
Well, and funny that you bring that up, because what makes that scene more powerful when you think about it is not only the fact that he inadvertently hurt his brother, but he knows in a way he can hurt his brother, because all he is that soul in the armor, and he realized had Alphonse be a physical thing, he probably would have been bleeding all over the floor and hurt by the breaking of the cup right on his face. But still, it's still symbolic of, I'm still like this, he's still like that, and yet I've given up.
And I think it's actually kind of interesting, the imagery of it, because it reminds me of like Luke Skywalker's battle against Darth Vader in the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, where he finally defeats Darth Vader, but he looks at him and he chopped off his hand, the same one that Darth Vader chopped off of him. And then it's at that moment Luke realizes, I'm playing into the Emperor's hands, this is what he wants. And he throws away his saber and he says, you've already failed, my Emperor. I am a Jedi, just like my father before me. And it's kind of the same energy because, Al's basically a living suit of armor now. But it's not the physical damage that he's worried about. It's the emotional damage because Alphonse doesn't lash out in anger. You can see the quiet, reserved pain.
Well, it's just like, brother, like that.
Yeah, like that. And that's what hits him. And Maria Ross hits that exact same psychological nerve. Because she knows these boys lost their mother. I mean, she probably is probably pieced together the hows and whys of it.
Well, more than likely, too, Denny Block and Maria Ross, given that they're their main guards, they probably were given their file by Roy Mustang or even Fuhrer Bradley, because they would have to know who they were protecting, just not going in blind.
And again, this woman probably has her own ambitions of becoming a mother one day, so she knows exactly that this is one of those moments you have to approach with the mindset of a mother. They're brilliant alchemists, but they're still children above all else. And again, as they've said in so many movies, television shows, and animes, before she is a soldier, before she is a state alchemist or anything else, what is she? She is a woman.
Yeah.
And what woman does not wish to become a mother at one point?
Well, and not only that, too, I mean, even before she finally got a chance to help Edward, if you remember the last episode, she's telling Colonel Mays Hughes, she's telling, Major Armstrong, everybody else that they're just children. Why are we allowing them to go this far and not trying to do our best to protect them? So she's thinking, again, yes, they're state alchemists, but these are still kids. Yeah. We should be doing more. Because, again, she makes a good point, and, Edward doesn't understand that. But, again, that's why I love what you say, is how he is. Because, granted, yes, he's upset, but the thing is, Alphonse has a hard time sometimes telling Edward those hard truths. Because, again, they're brothers, and he's the younger brother. And, sometimes we've seen it, Alphonse is a little intimidated by Edward. He is his conscience, but he's a little intimidated by him. Edward has had no good adult things, because who are the adults he's listened to? And we could probably say the two of them. Well, no, actually, no, I'll say the three of them, because I forget about the Major Alex Louis Armstrong, Mays Hughes, and even Maria Ross. Because I'm not going to put Roy Mustang in it, because Roy Mustang is a mentor, yes, but Roy Mustang is more like a child like himself.
Kind of like a big brother to me.
Yes.
But, I mean, the cool thing about you mentioning that is, like, a few episodes ago, we saw Louise Armstrong explain this to Maria Ross, like, they're young men, they're boys. The best, we know they're probably just going to do this anyway, so the best we can do is to support them while they do these things. Mm-hmm. Give them the room to grow and to understand it at their own speed. And it's neat because it emphasizes the idea that, yes, they're all military soldiers, but how do military soldiers see each other? As a family. As
comrades in
And in a very real sense, Alexander Louis Armstrong is kind of treating them like children. Like the sons that he would probably one day wish to have when he gets married.
Yeah. Well,
Maria Ross doing the same thing.
Well, same thing with Mays Hughes, because even though Mays Hughes already has a child in that family, when in the previous episode when she was arguing it, he doesn't go. Armstrong didn't go as deep as Mays Hughes did, but Mays Hughes went deep with her, explaining that very reason that you just said, that they're going to need us, but yet they need to grow themselves, do that, but when they really need us, we need to be there. So she also, I'm going to say, remembered that and knew that that's what they needed, which again leads into the Laboratory 5 stuff, because he realizes, well, actually it comes in Margot's note first, the truth behind genuine truths, and then it goes into them looking into the lab. So the speech, that Maria Ross gives and getting him back on track.
I'm about to get to that part, but
so great.
But like the first thing I really want to touch on before we, and by the way, major nerd out warning ahead. Before we get to that, like we were just geeking out over Maria Ross in this part, because in both the Japanese and English, it's amazing. Like the Japanese voice actress, in my opinion, definitely had like the softer, more motherly tone. Mm-hmm. But the English the English part had the better lines, and honestly, it almost felt like she had like the better prodding, the better vocal prodding. But to me, like if you combine the voice delivery of the Japanese voice actress with the English lines, oh my God! Like this woman would steal the whole damn series.
Which again, I'll give it a early shout out for both of them. Meredith McCoy and Mitsuki Saiga for English and Japanese. And then, well, since you brought that up, I'll also give the shout out already to Edward Elric, Vic Mignogna, Romy Paku, because while she was explaining it before she goes into her motherly tone for both characters, Romy Paku's was good, but you could tell with the traditional, again, Japanese or Asian culture where they do have that honorific system and they try to speak honorably to everybody and not fly off the handle. Romy Paku was giving Edward's lines as they understand, but you can see there's the bitter disappointment. Vic Mignogna went way in on the disappointment, saying that God's treating you and me like a joke. The closer I get, the more he rips it away. And like the whole thing with the cup, like the anger of Romy Paku and Vic Mignogna and Alphonse, I would say, was the same. But when Maria Ross and Denny Block come in, they're asking what's wrong, and he's like, "Oh, nothing. Go outside. It was just a broken glass. It doesn't concern you." And then he just keeps telling everybody off because he's just that angered and bitter. And again, it's probably like he's angry at himself, but as I said, in the English version, he, like, in Japanese, Rummy Pocket plays it as, I understand why God's doing it, but in the English, Vic Mignogna's like, oh no, he's toying with me as soon as we get it. You know, here's a wrench. Oh, I hate this.
And honestly, this was one of Vic's greatest moments of this series, because, I mean, we all know he can do, like, a loud, crazy rant or outburst.
Yeah.
This kind of, like, almost childish tantrum where he's projecting his anger onto everyone else or even God is, like, it's so spot on. It's controlled, it's measured, but it's exactly what it needs to be. It feels like a kid having, you know, a very emotional, semi-irrational outburst,
Well,
you know, projecting their own insecurities outwards. It's honestly brilliant.
well, and again, it's just like how, Meredith McCoy said it. So you're just giving up. That's it, huh? You don't know nothing about what we've been through. What would you know about it? Like, just that dejection of,
and it's such a
overheard. You don't know shit.
And it's such a perfect back and forth. Like, honestly, if they weren't in the same voice acting booth, I would be very surprised. It's just that good.
Sometimes they, I know most of the time they don't do that, but sometimes, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, they were having a lot of people together in the same recording session. So I wouldn't doubt if maybe Meredith McCoy and Vic Mignogna shared the stage for that scene.
I mean,
because like I said, whether they didn't, because like I said, Vic Mignogna may have recorded his lines first, and then Meredith McCoy definitely had that to bounce off of, because she definitely gave a great performance. And all voice actors have admitted you can get a good performance, but it's not easy going against the Japanese voice where the inflections are different and, they react differently, and then you have to create a more Shakespearean or American dramatized version of that to invoke. Because we do, I will admit, we invoke more than Asian culture does, because again, where there's that more respect and honorific system, we're more emotional and empathetic, or sometimes.
And I'm going to give you like a very broad strokes view of it. If you want a better one, kind of look up like Anime Abandon. As much as I don't watch Bennett the Sage anymore, he did a very good breakdown of the difference between English and Japanese language. But yeah, their sentence structure, like, there are words where the only way you can tell what they're saying is by the emphasis they place on it, because there are words that have like 5 or 7 different meanings.
Yeah.
And I mean, Japanese is such a weird language, just in the verbal, let alone the 6 different written styles.
Well, to me, they all have it, from Korean to Chinese to Japanese to Vietnamese. They all have it.
And people say, like, it's weird when you hear like the like southern accents from, like, say, Louisiana compared to Arizona, much less like your North English accents or your Midwestern. But, like, the difference in accents in Japan is, like, night and day. Kansai compared to the rest of the country is nuts.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, more than a few Yakuza characters have that trait. But anyways, it's like, stuff like that really makes you appreciate how insanely good this cast was.
Yeah. As
early in their career that they could take a language as, frankly, nutter butters as Japanese and make absolute goddamn Shakespeare out of it, and the English version is amazing.
Well, I will definitely say, just on a quick side note to that, since you did bring it up, the 80s did have some good years, the 90s did have some good years, but I have to say around late 90s, early 2000s, even though a lot of people say it's bad, and again, Gray Fox, if you watch this, we know how you feel, and we're not trying to point you out, but we've always said how I've always thought, we were getting better around that time, and with each thing, we kept getting better, and sometimes you could say we do overreact, but sometimes I like that. But that's why I tell people I'm a guy who likes both. Yeah. When I watch anime now, or anything that is meant to be a movie viewed in different culture, if an English track is there, I'll watch English track. I'll watch the original track. I will respect both, because sometimes it's hilarious and you can poke fun at it, or other times you get an invocation. Long story, short thing here again, I know I've mentioned it a few times on our channel. You have the Japanese and a lot of people from Asian culture come over here to our cons and say, for instance, two anime movies that have been done, the Hellsing OVAs and Akira. You've had a lot of those folks say they like our American version better than what was done in Japan or wherever it was made.
Well, yeah.
They have said you guys have a very good one that we may not be able to fully understand and get it, but the way when we read the subtitles and see what you guys are saying and putting in there, we like how you're doing it. And I'm like, again, we have those rare moments where we can surprise even them.
Because, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. I still love the Fate franchise, but it is bullshit that Saber doesn't have a British accent and my boy Koo doesn't speak the good Scotia. So, come on. I mean, let's show a little respect to the English voice actors, eh?
Yeah. Regardless of the crap that's going on, because I know every time I look up some news and see some stuff going on, because as you guys know, Jherick's told me all about it. We've mentioned it a few times on this thing. Regardless of all that BS, I still will support the work that's done. I just probably won't support the pettiness of it. And believe me, there's a lot of pettiness out there. But again, that's because I think personally, as we've talked about before, Hollywood weave themselves into the voice acting part of it too. Partly, I'm going to say for Disney, because who owns the right to Studio Ghibli right now, sadly? Disney.
Yeah, I mean, hey, nobody, I don't think anybody wants to hang out with Chairman Mickey Mao anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, Koo Holland, no drunkenness? No! I need my drunken Koo, baby. And I need my French toast Jean d'Arc to start speaking some damn French.
Right. Yeah, sorry for the tangent there, folks.
Yeah, sorry about that. But after Maria Ross finally snaps him back to good old Edward we all know and love, he finally realizes that he missed one critical clue that was left in the note Marco gave him, and he folds it up and it's like the truth behind truth.
Yeah.
And he starts realizing, wait a minute. I mean, Marco's stone was not a perfect philosopher's stone, but even so, it would have required a large number of sacrifices. Where did he get them all? And then you realize, like, the wheels in his mind are starting to spin in overtime, and he's like, hey, what was his name again? Like, Fury, was it?
You mean Maria Ross? Or
No, the male guard.
Oh, Denny Block.
Denny Block. He's like, what's the biggest facility you have where something like the Philosopher's Stone can be made?
Oh yeah, and they look up the alchemic laboratories. And he pointed out Marco worked out a laboratory 3.
And it's like, no, that's too small. That wouldn't be large enough for the kind of facilities to make something like this. Like, wait a minute. What about? He's like, were there any other facilities? Like, well, there was Facility 5, but that one was demolished. And it's like, where was it located? So they pull up a map, and of course, it's located behind a prison. And it's like, wait, you're not thinking what it's like. Well, think about it.
Yep.
Rather than just killing and executing these guys, wouldn't it be convenient to say they were and instead use them as live subjects for something like this?
Yep, write down whatever you want on the paperwork, and there you go, experimentation.
And it's a brilliant thing. It's like true. It's brilliant because, I mean, hey, recycle your prisoners. And why? Well, fans of this particular series of reviews we've been doing may remember I mentioned a little place called, a little disaster called Unit 731. And yeah, if you think they weren't recycling people for the bio weapons program they were trying to get off the ground in China for Imperial Japan, you'd be dead wrong. But hey, they're not the only ones who did it. Everybody did.
Well, and again, as you were saying, how Denny Block was pointing all these things out, like what Block says, it was condemned because the structure wasn't right. What a convenient thing to say the structure isn't right, and then condemn a whole laboratory, and then look, there's a prison right behind there. Well, and nothing to see here.
And again, that's exactly how governments would cover these things up. Oh, it's like the building had to be condemned, or we had to shut it down due to a chemical spill or something. In fact, Gunslinger Girl has a lot of great moments like that.
Oh yeah.
Hell, the first episode they use the excuse of a construction company to mask the noise of a sniper rifle shot.
Yeah. Not only that too, when they go in guns blazing, killing all the other criminals.
Look at that! It's a little girl with an Italian typewriter. Actually, shit.
Not just the Italian typewriter, the cello. It's like, oh, that ain't no cello.
Actually, I believe the P90 is a. I believe it's a. I forget the name of that. I believe that's a Hungarian rifle. It's like, you know what I mean. Just. But anyways, yeah. I mean, it's the type of bullshit that happens all the fucking time.
Oh,
Vietnam had that shit. Fucking World Wars 1 and 2 had a lot of that shit. I mean.
Yep.
It's sad, but that's the reality of war. And of course, you know,
just experimentation to build weapons and whatnot.
Well, again, you know, the necessity of war causes some very horrifying things to happen. I mean, again, people, I know I harp on this a little much for people, but a lot of the shit we take for granted were basically the developments caused by, again, the Nazi war machine, because Hitler was giving blank checks to bitches in order for their technology to be used for the war.
And also, again...
Which we later granted amnesty to those people to come here and do the same for us. Hello NASA.
Well, you know, hey, to that same thing, as far as Fear Bradley and all these people go, because it's always easy to forget a Fullmetal Alchemist. I mean, yeah, you may like the military uniforms and the military and all the people in the military, which I do too, which is why I wish they weren't always akin to the Nazis, but Hiromu Arikawa set it up great to where their government is a militaristic government. Yeah. So this type of stuff would go on, because when you're a militaristic society, which vis-a-vis Hitler's Germany was, you're going to be doing this type of kooky shit.
And the sad thing is, as much of a joke as it is on the internet, you know, it's like, are we the bad guys? Well, I mean, of course we look at them with the schools and everything, but, I mean, we didn't design the uniforms. But the thing is, that's not a joke. Hitler actually did commission his uniforms to be designed in such a way as to both enhance the patriotism, but also strike fear to the enemies.
Yeah.
Hitler was very big into that shit, by the way. I mean, lots of good channels cover that. 10th Legion is a good historical source for a lot of that stuff. That Electrician. Anyways, you know, so of course Maria Ross realizes the boys are about to want to go do something stupid and infiltrate a condemned military facility.
Yep.
That's next to a prison. So of course she comes up with a brilliant idea of being like, whoa, hey, we're supposed to be your guardians. How about you let us go look into it, and if we see anything, you'll be the first ones we go back to. And of course, Mr. Bitch Pasta himself is like, yes, of course, please, by all means, do go investigate for us. We'll be good boys and wait right here.
Yep.
Which I think we all know how that goes.
And then we go sneak.
Or, you know, as one game developer put it, dun 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 dun, Ed.
Yeah. Well, one, funnily enough, as we brought up earlier, that leads as they're heading to the laboratory, Scar, who's looking for them, and again, I guarantee you there are probably fans who hate it, because Scar does get into the building while Maria Ross is trying to contact Major Alex Louis Armstrong, but while they're doing that, he gets into the building, and he's not killing the guards, so funnily enough, something has changed within Scar, because he injured them, but I don't think he's killing them, but he's trying to find the Fullmetal Alchemist, and he gets in there, reads Marco's notes, and he's like, oh, so you know as well. And again, I know some people had a problem with that, but I don't mind that Scar knows about the Philosopher's Stone. I think that's actually cool how he knows something about it. That's actually a nice character layer.
Well, what I told Boku, like, after we saw this episode, I have to believe, knowing what he would know about, you know, his arm's destructive capabilities and how his brother more than likely would have had to develop it, he probably already realized the truth of how to make a Philosopher's Stone and was probably horrified by it because, again, that same power made his arm.
Yeah.
So he probably already was well aware of the recipe by now, and when he finds the book, of course, you know, again, the brother of a brilliant alchemist, it is simplicity in itself for him to figure out what this is. So he knows what they know, and he knows, now I have no choice. I have to kill them. Because they know. And I love that he's also, we see him using more controlled destruction. He doesn't just destroy the book. He actually uses his alchemy to pull the letters off
out of the pages. Yeah, which again, that's so fucking cool because it's like, oh wow, instead of just random destruction, I can use this destruction to do somersaults, my martial arts,
well, and it's
letters.
And like I said, it's a controlled form of destruction because he's not destroying the book outright. He's just removing the letters. He's destroying the knowledge by basically taking it in its most base form.
Yeah.
Which is just so cool to see it like rotating in a pink globe that he's levitating above his hand.
The fact that he can even read it all that fast too, so,
and also,
so you know the truth.
And I think he didn't destroy those guys because, again, he's still injured, so he probably didn't really have the strength to go.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, he's still injured because he was holding his ribs the entire time.
And he's still bleeding, by the way. Which, I mean, again, this guy is a monster, if he's got a gash that bad and he's still going like this.
Well, even though we don't really see it in this version, if he is a warrior monk like he was trained like we see in the manga and in Brotherhood, they probably have excellent stamina. And plus, I know some people say it's a hokey movie TV thing. When your will for vengeance is that strong, akin to real life, yes, that's good for movies, but there have been people who've had tremendous willpower and soul that they've seen anything through, whether it's sacrificing themselves for their team, other people, getting vengeance for people who've wanted vengeance. There have been true accounts where people have been... You can't stop them in many ways. It doesn't look as stylized as it does in the movies and in the show, but...
Well, that, and I think in a more practical sense, he was using one of the monk techniques where you slow down your breathing to, slow down the hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, again, this guy has a pretty easy time getting past the guards. Now he knows what they know, so kind of a good thing the Elric brothers have a history of disobeying orders.
Yeah.
Roy Mustang chose wisely.
But then, if you want to get to this next part, since we're into the frying pan.
So now they
out of the frying pan into the fire.
Now we get the fun part because now Edward and Elle get to go full Indiana Jones.
or at least Edward does.
Yeah. But I love how we see him actually be like they have to get past a barbed wire fence, and he's like, times like this, I'm actually kind of glad I have a fake arm and leg and. It's kind of a neat thing to see them realizing that, they want their original bodies back, but these ones do have their advantages.
Which I do know Alphonse didn't say it like that, but I like how Alphonse in English said, yeah, so do I. Because I know he said something a little different in Japanese, but for him to just agree with that word like that is like, yeah, because, you guys don't have to feel the pain.
Well, and then, the weird way they're going like this when they're sneaking, I'm like, Edward, where are you?
Who does that?
We to find now. But yeah, I mean, it's just seeing that, I'm like, come on. All we need now is a talking dog and a mystery machine.
Yeah. Oh, and let's not forget too, when they finally do find a way in through a ventilation system, Edward actually makes the cardinal sin, calling himself small 2-3 different times.
Well, and I love how he tells before he goes in, he tells Alice like, I think this might be a little too big for you. I'll wait here while I try to find a way for you. He's like,
it's not my fault I'm big.
I love his cutesy reaction to that. It's so adorable. And plus, this is the first time we get to see him having a complex about his new height. So
yeah,
honestly, it's
probably why, because look at all the stuff that Edward makes like 2-3 different times about him being short.
And then of course Edward gets to have his epiphany, where not only is it easier for him to sneak through the shaft because of his small size, but then wait, what's that sound? Dun 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 dun. Well, yeah, they had a big ass boulder like it's the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course, he knows he can't get away because it's a small, confined space, so he just crouches in the corner and it just rolls past him. It's like, it's times like this that I should be glad that I'm so small. Maybe the small size isn't so bad. It's like, no, it's terrible, it's horrible, it's the worst thing ever.
Well, also remember, too, before the boulder came down, you had the wall spikes, the ceiling spikes, you had the trap door.
Yes, Chris, I got lots of practice trying to kill small children infiltrating Almestrian military facilities.
Oh, and also, we should mention, too, because I forgot to bring this up again as well, and I know you didn't mention it either, so I'll bring it up. So, there's still electricity and power to this place on the inside as well. Yeah. And the facility is locked up tight with tripwires. Also, you have a part where we see the homunculi, gluttony, lust, and envy again, talking about how they don't know they're at the facility yet, but they believe the Elrics will head to Laboratory 5. And Envy says, well, shouldn't we kill them now before they, get closer? And, Les is like, no, we can't do that because these boys could be the ones that actually help us create what they need. And I'm just like, well, as long as they do, and don't mess up our plans, I'm fine with that. But hey, if they get in our way, can we kill them? And Les is like, of course. And then Gluttony gives that shit-eating white grin he always gets when he thinks he can get.
And she also, Lust also implies that she left 2 bodyguards behind. It's like,
oh yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I left a couple of bodyguards. It's like, those 2 idiots? Okay, yeah, they are pretty stupid. And we'll get to them in a minute, but yeah, this place was booby-trapped, like, to an umbrella degree. Like, all we're missing now is a bullshit gimmick involving the Moonlight Sonata and double pistols.
Yeah.
But, I love that Edward finally, realizes, all these traps seem to be pressure-sensitive plates on the floor. I know. Let me use my alchemy to coat the whole floor in metal so I won't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, which he does, and then...
simple answer, but it works.
And then when he finally gets in through the door, because you hear the security guards talking, call number 44 and number 66. The number 66 hasn't been revealed, but we'll basically state it's Barry the Chopper, if you know the voice and you remember the guys. So it's who he basically is. Number 44 we don't know much about, but clearly he is a samurai warrior type who has a very interesting thing with Edward in a fight in this one, and it's really cool.
Oh, and it's cool too because he didn't account for his metal arm, but the second his metal arm is able to block the sword, he's like, aha, auto mail, probably going all the way up to the shoulder. And Edward's doing a pretty good job holding his own until he realizes his shoulder feels a little loose, and he notices, a screw's missing. We cut back to Winry, and she notices
heads.
And I love how she has it numbered. I love how she has it numbered and labeled like it's a Gunpla kit, and she's like, "Oopsie." And it's actually kind of funny because it sounds ridiculous, but when you're doing big projects like that, labeling the individual parts is a great way to make sure you don't lose track of stuff.
Yeah.
Although apparently that didn't help Winry too much.
Well, the look on her face, that shocking blue face of oh shit.
And also I love to mention that the armor they gave to number 44, the samurai guy, appears to be a type of sort of repurposed samurai armor for raiders or rogue ronin. Kind of like the sort of stuff Banis would do if they killed an actual samurai general and then repurposed his armor for themselves. In fact, I think it's kind of like a take on the Mongol armor. I think either Mongol or North Korean border armor from those times. But yeah, he's got a samurai sword, and for the life of me, it's got to be a pretty damn good one if it can cling against that full metal and not break. So
yeah. So
I'm thinking maybe this guy might also have a little alchemy too. And Edward gets in a pretty good shot where he thinks he went for a headshot, but oh, look at that, he's like Al.
Yeah, because he pulls up the mask, and inside the mask he sees similar to Alphonse the blood rune seal.
And what's interesting is we get to see that his blood rune seal is different than Al's, which you would kind of have to figure. And I'm sure we're going to notice that with Barry the Chopper too. And by the looks of it, it also kind of looks like he's not using your standard katana. Katana might have been a Tachi, maybe one of the other ones. But yeah, you can tell this guy's definitely had training. And seriously, kudos to Ed for holding him off for so long. Then we get to Barry, because Barry got bored and wanted to kill someone too. And oh, look at that, he's going to get to fight Al this time.
Yeah. And
we get to see Barry's look, and honestly, it's kind of cool to see Psycho Killer Barry the Chopper
looking like the demon look as we know him.
It kind of, again, both of these guys kind of remind me of, God, what's that guy's name from Darkstalker? Oh, Bishaton.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm also going to say it right now, because Barry, we just see him start fighting Alphonse. They don't go at it right away, but he says, he'll tell Alphonse who he is once he's about to kill him and peel off his skin. But again, the same time is, I don't want to spoil it for people, but we've already passed that point in Brotherhood where we saw Barry at the end when they first were breaking into Laboratory 5, where, that was only the tip of the iceberg of this whole thing. And if you remember, a dog comes by the broken body of Barry and basically eats his blood seal, killing him. Barry does not have an anticlimactic weird death. Oh, and he will not be comic relief either, so thank God for that. I know a lot of people loved it. I did not like it because I'm like, after they built Barry up in that original show as a psychotic dude.
Yeah. Well,
okay, this has been ruined.
Yeah. And it's also kind of neat to see that, like, he's still using a meat cleaver style weapon, but now it's more of like a militarized one.
Oh yeah, well yeah, fucking thing's huge.
So it's nice new touches to see, and overall, I really love this episode. It's setting up what's to come really nicely.
Oh yes.
And, a little bit of a last weird side tangent. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of the old Neo Geo Double Dragon fighting game, Rage of the Dragons. Well, somebody sent me that on fucking Steam recently, and one of my favorite characters, actually two of them really, are the South American characters of Pepe and his girlfriend Pupa. And Pupa looks a lot like Winry Rockbell, except she's got a beanie, and her fireball, she throws her wrench at you. So honestly, I'm like, yeah, I'm picking the South American team with the good music, the hot dude with the crazy abs, and Winry Rockbell as his girlfriend.
Well, hey,
she's a mechanic.
Well, there you go. Well, since you sort of gave the final thoughts again, Jherick, really quick before we go, I know you mentioned a few of them, your favorite characters of this episode.
Oh, before that, real quick, I also forgot to mention, because of how we got to see a bit more detail on Scar, I noticed he doesn't just have a cross on the back of his jacket, he's got a cross on down the leg of his pants. Which again is kind of neat because his pants are black and white, so it's kind of like the monochrome of like the white holy cross against the darkness of what he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
Love these touches, by the way. Back to the voices. Yeah, we all know I'm picking Maria Hill for number one on this.
Again, Meredith McCoy, Mitsuki Saiga.
And honestly, I'm giving it to both of them for this, because tie for first place to both voice actresses.
Which he did tell me, Jherick did tell me he liked how both voices did, which I did too. I will not deny. They both did about the same, if not better. Like, the emotional resonance of Mitsuki Saiga was great, and then just the whole instance to where Meredith McCoy may have not have had the most emotional dissonance, but she had a way of telling it straight to give that motherly or just I want to help you quality.
Or to look at it a different way, the English voice actress had the tough love, the Japanese voice actress had the motherly love. Mm-hmm. Either way, great. Both of them take first place. Second place, Vic Mignogna. Our king, our boy, you know.
Romy Paku and Vic Mignogna, Edward Elric, yep.
And again, Vic Mignogna, this dude always delivers. Never been against the kid.
Well, again, his performances too, when he's going through the Indiana Jones moments, is hysterical too.
Yes. And number 3 is a bit of a dark horse choice, but it's Al.
Hey, well, no, you gotta give it to Alphonse Elric, Aaron Desmouk, Rie Kugamiya.
But honestly, we had a couple other good ones that almost made the list, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this earlier. Yeah, we had another daddy freakout scene with Mace Hughes and the lady who got reinstated.
Oh yeah, Mace Hughes, Sonny Strait, Keiji Fujiwara, and Cheska, Gwendolyn Lau, Naomi Wakabayashi.
Because she got her job back, but Mace Hughes is going to make her work for it. And honestly, I love how...
tired? Would you like to look at my daughter in a bathing suit? Mm-hmm.
And look at this. Isn't she adorable? Only 3 years old. She's going to be a natural beauty, I tell you. Seriously, man, if Roy Mustang needs a new torture technique, we're not going to beat you or anything like that. We're just going to leave you alone with Mace Hughes, and he's going to tell you about his wonderful daughter.
Oh, yeah. Which, I have to give it to them, too. I also, for me, because I mentioned in mine, I also gave a little nod to... Not number 66, Jerry Jewell, Kentaro Ito. Even though I will say Kentaro Ito for this episode was the better actress or better actor of Barry the Chopper, because his scream. I mean, Jerry Jewell did a good job too, but Kentaro Ito, when he came out of nowhere screaming that psychotic scream, aces for Japanese. That was well done. But I have to give it to number 48, Bill Jenkins. Koichi Sakaguchi, because him already having the respectful murderer type, but also, knowing he did not want to lose to this kid and just how he was treating it seriously, just well done, honorifics, and just serious dude here, you would not want to mention it. So short role right off the bat already, but well done for the time he was on screen.
And I mean, it's great too, because I even love, like, every line of dialogue in this was just an absolute stellar. Like, there's a moment where Barry the Chopper is talking to Alice, like, my name? Oh, you mean like my proper name? Well, yes, I have one of those, but I guess I'll use my work name for this. But tell you what, once I'm about to skin you alive, maybe I'll tell you my real one.
Well, and he'd also say, once I tell you, if I told you my real one right off the bat too, you'd wet yourself.
I mean, it's such a everything in this episode was, and yeah, I know I say this with like almost every episode, but it's so true. This was Romu Arakawa just cooking, just.
Well, and again, because it's done differently than Brotherhood, and I love Hiromu Arakawa's work. I love what I've read of the manga. I have to finish the manga yet myself and get the other volumes I don't own yet. And I do love what we get with Brotherhood. But again, where Brotherhood, again, we've said it before, is the more romanticized version. This is more the journeyman's tale where we're seeing what the characters are doing. We spend time with some more characters that we didn't get to have the time with in Brotherhood, and it's more impactful, it's more drama rated. And I know sometimes people don't like the human condition that much or drama, and like, don't get me wrong, it is there in Brotherhood too, but it's, again, it really is more romanticized, and it focuses a lot more on, because again, I looked up Hiromu Arakawa's background and her family's background, because it's in her biography and why she did this like this, because of the whole World War II Japanese occupation of what they did to China, and there are people who were living in China, and her family was there, and the whole torture and everything they were going through during that time. So again, I understand her stakes, but the manga in Brotherhood is more of the militaristic evil empire stuff, which again, the politics of that is cool. Some of the stuff the characters say is a little disconcerting and weird, because it's like, semantics, but
you know what's so
I like how this focuses on the journeyman tale, the people they interact, and the brothers' journey to get their bodies back.
You know what, you mentioning that just made me realize?
What?
This is probably one of the reasons why I love Scar so much, because he is literally a villain who is the embodiment of the scars of war.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally like what happens when war just touches you too much and you never recover from it. He's literally the scars of war.
He's also, in my opinion, he's more in tune with his spiritual side in the original than he is in Brotherhood. Because in Brotherhood, he's just angry.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
don't get me wrong. We love J. Michael Tatum and Damian Quark, but J. Michael Tatum, more angry. Damian Quark, more philosophical, and sometimes you can almost say has a decent justification for what he's doing. He's still wrong, but he believes he has well-rounded justifications for what he's doing. Oh, I may be wrong, but let them decide that for me in the afterlife.
I'd just like to think that J. Michael Tatum as Sebastian Michaelis is what happened after he calmed down from being Scar.
I go from like this to I go from like this.
Now, young master, if I really wanted to get angry and violent, I could. But that just wouldn't be becoming of a butler of the esteemed Phantom Hive Estate, now would it?
Indeed. Well, again, and so you guys know how we think. Again, just let us know in the comments down below what you think of Jherick's thoughts and the bit I added today, and just on any of our stuff going forward. Until, again, this is 012 Boku, and
of course, the jackass who left the stars on alchemy, Mr. Jherick.
Ooh. And we will talk to you guys again later, right? See ya.